I didn't know what it was called at first. Not until much later. I was living in this old house in Laguna Beach, a place that had stood since the 1920s. Over the years, it had been many things: a speakeasy, a brothel, even a hideout for smuggling illegal immigrants. You could feel the weight of its history in the air, like the walls had soaked up every secret. One day, after a heated argument with my wife, and honestly, I can't even remember what we were fighting about, she decided to step out, grab a coffee, and cool down. That left me alone in the house. Now, this house was strange in its layout. A haphazard design. The bedroom and living room were on one side, with a bathroom in between. The bathroom had two entrances, one led to a narrow hallway with windows on one side and two bedrooms on the other. From my bedroom, I could look straight down the hall, through the bathroom, and all the way to the other side. As I stood by my dresser, something caught my eye. Movement. I glanced toward the hallway, and there it was. Even as I recount this 17 years later, I still get chills. Standing there was a black figure, about 3 feet tall. It wasn't shaped like anything I could clearly describe. It was like someone had scribbled a human shape with black ink, but the scribbles were alive, moving, like electricity sparking off its form. It had no solid outline, just this shifting mass of black energy. There was no sound. None that I can remember. At first, I wasn't even scared. Just confused. What the hell is that? I thought. But then, it noticed me. I can't say it turned, it didn't even have a face, but I could feel it focus on me. That's when the fear hit. I was frozen, unable to move, as this thing started rushing toward me. Faster than I could process, it came straight down the hallway. I didn't know what it wanted, but whatever it was, it wasn't good. Then, just as it reached the bathroom, the door, the one closest to me, slammed shut. I didn't close it. Something else did. I screamed. Yelled for my wife. But she wasn't home. In pure panic, I ran outside into the daylight and waited until she got back. 10 long minutes later. I don't believe in ghosts. I'm not saying it was supernatural. But whatever it was, I saw it. And I'll never forget it. Ghost Bro. My house was built way back in 1904. It's an old, single-family home with a wooden frame sitting on a concrete block foundation. I've been living here for about 12 years now, and in that time, my siblings and I have seen and heard plenty of weird things. But of all those strange experiences, this one stands out as my absolute favorite. And it didn't even happen to me, it happened to my brother. So, about 10 years ago, my brother and his friends started a garage band. They mostly played Spanish rock, alternative music, but in Spanish. They could only get together on Sunday afternoons, practicing until around 8 p.m., which worked out perfectly for me because I worked the graveyard shift and usually came home to sleep around that time. This particular incident happened in late fall, when the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long practice session, and the plan was to head to someone else's house for the night. My brother handed his car keys to one of his buddies to help load up the equipment. Everyone was filing out of the basement, which wasn't the easiest place to navigate. You had to walk all the way to the back, up some stairs, through the kitchen, down the hallway, and into the living room before finally reaching the front porch. Once everyone was outside and settled in the truck, my brother suddenly remembered he left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on one of the speakers in the basement. So, he decided to head back in and grab them. Now, our basement wasn't exactly an open, tidy space. There were partitions, the boiler and heating unit sat right in the middle, and the place always had an eerie vibe. But my brother, not thinking much of it, walked back down the stairs. Just as he was about to grab his food, he caught something out of the corner of his eye. A shadowy figure. Right there, lingering at the edge of his peripheral vision. Instantly, this heavy feeling of dread washed over him. We'd always been taught that if you ever felt a bad vibe in the presence of a ghost or spirit, you should either say a quick prayer or just curse at it to assert your dominance. My brother, well, he chose the second option. Without hesitation, he muttered, "Hey, fuck you. I don't have time for this shit." With that, he started walking toward the stairs, briskly now, flicking off lights and closing doors as he went. The last light switch was on the opposite side of the front door. Thankfully, the door was open, and the streetlight outside was flooding the living room with this warm, amber glow. As my brother walked, he felt something, like a presence, right behind him. But he never turned around. Not once. Finally, he reached the last switch. With a flick, the entire house plunged into darkness. He pulled the front door shut behind him and, holding his container of pancakes in one hand, jogged down the porch steps, heading toward the truck where his friends were waiting. As he crossed the front yard, he couldn't help but laugh at himself. He was mad for getting spooked over nothing. Or so he thought. He climbed into the driver's seat, put on his seatbelt, and was just about to pull away when one of his friends in the back asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother, confused, replied, "What do you mean?" "He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" That's when his friend asked the question that sent chills down his spine. "So then, who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?"